Go across to Francois Gauthier, who's still with us from Puducherry. Now, Mr. Gauthier, apart from the temple visit, the other thing that is on display by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's camp is all of these allies. We just saw Uddhav Thackeray there sitting along with Amit Shah. We saw Nitish Kumar, who was also present in the cavalcade. This is an interesting show of unity on the part of the NDA. Remember, just a few months back, it was being said that NDA may have issues in getting its allies, but they have sorted that thing and they've put it in order. And they are, in fact, portraying that they've got all of their allies intact. So my question to you is, how much of an effect will the allies have on the NDA in this election?
No, I think everybody is betting on Mr. Modi because, he's the most bankable item and there is no doubt that he's going to be re-elected. The question is, with what majority? So everybody is behind him. There is no disunity. But I wanted to say something about temples, if you allow me.
Go ahead.
Because there is nothing new about Mr. Modi going to temples, either vibrant Hindu, although he has moderated, his Hinduness considerably after becoming Prime Minister, but he is seen as a Hindu and he is a Hindu. Indian politicians generally, have a public posturing and a private one. If you see in Tamil Nadu, the DMK, which is supposed to be, anti-Hindu, anti-God, atheist, in private, most of the ministers, I don't know about Mr. Stalin, but most of the ministers are Hindu, they go to temples. Now, the exception is Rahul Gandhi and his sister Priyanka. They are baptized Catholics, not like me. I'm also a baptized Catholic.
Right.
They are the one, if something is interesting, is they're going to Hindu temples because they've not done it so much before. And in my opinion, Hindus are innocent people, they're naive people. So in my opinion, they're catching votes in that way. Mr. Modi may not be catching so many votes because he's known to be a Hindu. But Priyanka and her brother being, baptized Catholics and now going all out to temples, what's called soft Hindutva, is going to catch some votes. And that is the most notable, that is the most interesting aspect of this temple going issue.
Looking at this issue from a distance, Mr. Gauthier, the fact is the Hinduness of Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi was something that was put out in the open. The Congress, in fact, came out and said that Rahul Gandhi is a Januidhari Brahman. And this is how they had, in fact, described Rahul Gandhi. Do you think this projection of Rahul Gandhi as a Januidhari Brahman is going to actually fetch Congress any votes?
Yes, I do. And I think, this, the advisors of Rahul Gandhi who told him that he should go to temples, they've done it because of Mr. Modi, because Modi is the champion of the Hindus and they think they can get a little bit of the cake by asking Rahul to go to temples. But I don't think, he's himself a Hindu the way Mr. Modi and some of his ministers are real Hindus. I mean, they believe firmly in the religion and spirituality that in Hinduism. Mr. Gandhi and the sister are baptized Catholics, and they may not believe, but it's going to earn them votes. It's definitely going to earn them votes, definitely.
All right, so this was one part of it, but let me also take that across to Kartikeya. Kartikeya, this was a concerted strategy on the part of the Congress in the lead up to this general election, where the BJP had, of course, been questioning that probably the Congress is not Hindu enough, and therefore the Congress felt a need to actually come out and make their position very clear, where they said that Rahul Gandhi himself is a Januidhari Brahman. Do you think this is a strategy that will work in favor of the Congress? Will they be able to get votes on this? All right, we seem to have lost the line with Kartikeya Sharma, but these, of course, are live visuals which are coming in from the temple town of Varanasi, where you can, of course, see Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's done with his temple visits. He is expected to now go file his nomination papers. But, Mr. Gauthier, let me bring you in on this because, the Hinduness is one aspect of this election. The other, and perhaps the overarching issues that will, of course, be discussed are what has been described in the manifesto and what has been promised in the manifestos. Now, the BJP has been fighting this election on a strategy of a very muscular security policy, especially in the context of the Balakot strikes. Do you think the BJP, after the Balakot strikes, is in a better position today than it was before February?
You see, what has happened, Saleh, is that Prime Minister Modi has turned this parliamentary election into a presidential contest. Now, presidential contest was also there in 2014, but the difference is that the debate has become about Narendra Modi. For example, last time it was about good governance, it was about, economy should go robustly, anti-corruption issues. But this time, it is about whether you like Prime Minister Narendra Modi or whether you don't like him.
Right.
So it's not about Prime Minister Modi versus Rahul Gandhi or Prime Minister Modi versus Mamata Banerjee, Chief Minister of West Bengal, or Rahul Gandhi, the President of the Congress Party. It is about, if you like Narendra Modi, you will vote for Narendra Modi, and those who don't like Narendra Modi will not vote for Narendra Modi. They will vote for any other combination.
Right.
So the election has started to revolve around him. But let me tell you, it's a very high-stake game because anyway, the supporters of BJP are pretty vocal, and there is a massive consolidation for the Prime Minister. But sometimes strong consolidations also create stronger counter-consolidations. But as of now, those stronger counter-consolidations are restricted to a couple of states. They have not spread all over the country. That is one part of it. But the second part of the question which you asked me was on post-Balakot narrative. Yes, post-Balakot narrative has dominated. A post-Balakot narrative has been able to withhold the attack which Congress prepared for the Bharatiya Janata Party. And I'll give you an example. Because it has got a robust machinery, BJP was able to claw back in Rajasthan.
Right.
Like, for example, now Prime Minister has arrived in this room. Now, he's being greeted by all the leaders, Prakash Singh Badal, Nitish Kumar, Nefario, Chief Minister of Nagaland. If I'm OPS from Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely.
These are the people who are greeting him. It's a show of strength. Uddhav Thackeray, Shiv Sena, Ramvilas Paswan from LJP, Party President Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, Home Minister. So all of them have Nitin Gadkari, Foreign Minister.
Karthikeyan, I want you to actually talk to us about the unity that is on display here, because these are all the major allies of the BJP. And today, on the day when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is filing his nomination, every single major ally is there. Uddhav Thackeray, Nitish Kumar from the Shiromani Akali Dal, and also some of the other allies. And this, of course, is sending out a message that the NDA is united and they are fighting this election as one.
See, this is the strength of Indian democracy, and this is the irony of democracy. I remember in 2009, Rahul Gandhi in a speech in Ludhiana said, "Where is NDA?" And obviously, by the time NDA completely crumbled under LK Advani, and today, 10 years down the line, you can see NDA, but you don't see either a grand alliance or a strong UPA. So, that way things quickly change in Indian politics. So that is why nothing is permanent in Indian politics. 5 years down the line, we might have a completely different picture, and BJP might not be as strong as it looks today. So, the political fortunes reverse in India very quickly. But nonetheless, it is Prime Minister's day today in Varanasi.
Absolutely.
He has his allies in line, people in line, his cabinet in line. There is a turnover in the party which has taken place. Certain senior leaders associated with Vajpayee, they have stepped aside. So if BJP comes to power, let's not be presumptuous, if it comes to power, if the mandate is with them, then you will have a new BJP government in sense of new people from organization coming in. It will not be a handover of 2014. So that way, that transformation, BJP has been able to very quickly, they have been very able to quickly stitch around through various state units, which Congress has not been able to do in past 5 years. So you can find, Ashok Gehlot, Kamal Nath, 75-year-old Kamal Nath still in the fray.
Right.
With Rahul Gandhi and younger leaders like Jyotiraditya Scindia.
Absolutely, indeed. And these are the visuals that we are getting from the Collectorate's office. We expect the Prime Minister to be filing his nomination papers in just a while from now. And what is interesting to, in fact, look at is the show of unity on the part of the NDA, and contrast this with the disarray that the opposition perhaps is in, where they were talking about the Mahagathbandhan over the last 6-9 months leading up to the general elections. But what we are looking at is more a united NDA at this point of time. And also, Karthikeyan, you've been following elections for such a long period of time, and you were talking about how generally in elections the sitting incumbent Prime Minister does not lose. In this case, in Varanasi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has an edge. But the fact of the matter is the opposition, which was talking about fielding one candidate against the BJP to try and trump them and not to have this election reduced to a presidential contest. Do you think they've been able to succeed even to any degree in this original objective that they had earlier stated?
I think they're pretty successful that way, because if you look at the election narrative, it's about whether it's like this. How do journalists gather their information? It's like you take a walk in the park and you meet 50 people, and out of 50, 40 are only talking about Narendra Modi.
Right.
You know which way the conversation is. You might not know which way the win is going to lie, but at least you will know which way the conversation is happening. So if you go out, you meet people, you understand. It's only about him, whether you like him, you don't like him, you appreciate him, you do not appreciate him. But it is only about him. And I think that should be taken very seriously by Rahul Gandhi, because if this is the way the discourse is going to continue, he will really have a big problem in stitching up
Absolutely.
a broader alliance and reinventing his image as a leader of the Congress party, because sometimes the mood of the people also change. It's like what is considered to be nice and good, correct 30 years before is not being appreciated today. 25 years before, 30 years before, if you came from a good family or an established family, people would say, well, it's good that he has got the ticket, he's come from a family.
Right.
Now you say, I've come from a political family, people will say, well, you are a dynast, you are a burden, so we will go for a person who comes from nowhere. So suddenly the meaning of the words and things change, and we are living at a time when Indian politics is transforming.
Absolutely.
In and out.
Absolutely, that is very true indeed. And also do continue to stay on with this, Karthik, because I'm told that we're also joined by Francois Gauthier, who's now back with us on the line. Now, Francois Gauthier is, of course, joining us from Puducherry. Now, Mr. Gauthier, my question to you is this. What we have seen in elections across the world, it's not just in India, there has been a decisive shift to the right, be it what has happened in the United States, be it what has happened in Brazil, or what has happened in Israel. We see right-wing leaders coming to the fore more and more. Do you think even in India there will be, in some ways, a consolidation of right so long as Indian politics is concerned in the years going forward?
Well, first, I think, right, left, it's a Western label that applies more to Western political culture. I mean, there is a left in India, no doubt. There are communists. They probably are the last communists in the world, because you can't call the Chinese communists anymore. They're more capitalist than even the United States. So the last left might be in India, but as far as the right is concerned, I'm always a little bit uneasy when people call Hindu leaders rightist. Or saffron is better because saffron is grown in India, though it is in Kashmir. But the label right, I think, is wrong. It is wrong. Now, if there's a rise of Hindu nationalism, that's all right. But rightist is a Western label that should not be clamped upon India, because it doesn't apply to India, in my opinion. Now, there might be a consolidation of what people call the Hindu nationalism, the Hindu leaders, those who say, that the culture and the tradition and the history of India is, in majority Hindu. But Mr. Modi, during these 5 years, has tried to prove that he rose above his Hinduness.
Right.
When he was Gujarat chief minister, he was known as a very vibrant Hindu leader. But since he became prime minister, he's went out of his way, to woo, the Muslim community, the Christian community, the cricketers, everybody, Bollywood. So I think, I wouldn't apply the label right to him, but it's I have been saying for quite some time, for 2 decades, that actually, Hindu leaders are going to come to the front, that India is going to be ruled by the BJP or some other Hindu party for the next, 50 or 100 years. That is for sure. Congress has been on the decline. Okay. It's a long time. It's a long time. And I think it's going to decline further. So some other parties might come up, but meanwhile, I think the BJP, the Shiv Sena, other parties that may, rise and be born, in the future years are going to take, over India. And so, yes, there is a rise of Hindu, if you want to call it Hindu nationalism, they're going to be consolidated for sure in this election and future elections.
Absolutely. That's an interesting sort of insight that you're giving us. When I said that the BJP is a right-wing party, what I meant was that it is more a conservative, a nationalist right-wing party which is focusing on cultural nationalism. Do you think the BJP does not qualify to be called as the right-wing in India?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
No, it does. It does qualify. Definitely, it does qualify. I mean, but we have seen also that Mr. Modi trying to recenter himself, there are some elements in his party like Mr. Gadkari, who's been a remarkable transport and road minister. I think, he's been one of the ministers that really function well and work hard, We've seen him positioning himself to say, look, I'm more, Hindu than you, in case you lose or in case, I am here. There might be some competition within the BJP, but the BJP remains the main Hindu party.